everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Lindsay here from So Sweet Samuel. Today is the 12th of August and it is 5 to 8 in the evenings. It's quite late to be recording, but it's been ever so hot here today. It's been about 26 degrees here in the southeast of England. So it's cooled down slightly. Well, it hasn't actually. It's still 22 degrees here now, but I thought I'd come on now and record now and hopefully get this uploaded this evening. So my microphone has died. I know last time when I recorded, my microphone, well, I don't know what happened. It cut out in the middle of recording. You had no sound at all. So hopefully you can hear me tonight. I will try my best to speak up and hopefully you'll be able to hear me. But I've just turned my microphone on to do the recording and the red light is flashing. So obviously I need to charge my microphone up as well. So hopefully you can hear me. I will make a conscious effort to speak louder tonight. So I hope everybody's well. I've got lots to show you today. So you might want to pause the video now, go off and get yourself a drink, something nice and cool if you're melting like I am, or a hot drink, whatever you fancy, but I'm hot. So I've got quite a few finished objects actually, some works in progress and some acquisitions. I had a trip up to London with my friends. We went to Liberty's a couple of weeks ago and I got some fabric, and then we went to John Lewis as well and I got some more fabric in John Lewis. And then I've also got a couple of books off of Amazon and one book off of Vinted. I've recently, as always, you know I'm always late to the party with everything, normally with TV series, but I'm late to the party with Vinted this time. And I found a lovely craft book on Vinted and I think I only paid £1.50 for it and then maybe £2 with postage. And it's a lovely, lovely book. I'm really looking forward to using this book. So got lots to show you today. As you can see from the title, it's very varied today, so let's dive straight in. So if you remember when we were away in Menorca in May for my birthday, I was cross-stitching a Primrose Cottage Stitches bee theme cross stitch, and I pretty much finished this while we were in Menorca. I think I had a few stitches to put in, but it was pretty much done, but it hadn't had a fully finished. So I have now fully finished this. I finished this off on Sunday, I think it was. So I've just added some blue fabric, which got little bees on. I think I brought this, I showed this to you a while back. I got this in the cheap shop in Tiptree in Essex. They do have an online facility, and if you have a chance to go to the cheap shop in Essex, it's like the TARDIS. From the front, it looks like a very ordinary shop, but it just goes on and on and on and on. It just goes back. It's never ending. And it has every craft imaginable. So at the start, it's got gift cards, like birthday card and wrapping paper. And then it starts off with like cake decorating bits and pieces. And then it goes into doll's house making. And then there's paper crafting and then cross stitching and stamping. And then they've got a whole section just for wool. And then a fabric section, loads of fabric, everything you can think of is in this craft shop. And it's called the Cheap Shop. But I think I said to you before, the very first time I went, probably, I don't know if I'd had Samuel, but maybe, I'm going to say 10 years ago, but I think it was more than that. I don't think I'd had Samuel. I probably spent over £100. The last time I went, I think I only spent about £25. So I have got progressively better at my spend. But I brought this lovely bee fabric. It was just a fat quarter. And I don't know if I got two of these or one. If you can hear that, Samuel's just decided now to go out and jump on the trampoline. I do tell him not to do it because we've got a new family moved in next door to us and they've got a young baby. He'll be 3 in November. Mum's expecting again. So I'm doing some knitting for Mum. Well, I'm crocheting for her at the moment. But I love this. I think it's really finished this off nicely. So this is just living. I've got a 2-tiered wooden tray and that's just living in my wooden tray. But I love this. I love with Primrose Cottage Stitches that there's just elements that you could just pick out. So I'm going to be making some of the little travelling sewing kits. I brought 2 of the jewellery boxes, and I'm going to be doing a make along on YouTube. I'm going to make one up, and then I'm going to do a make along on YouTube and show you how to make them. I've made one for myself, and I'm going to do a make along, but what I want to do is, before I make it, is I want to sew maybe this little bee theme here, this little honeycomb, and there's not a honeycomb, is it? A beehive with the bee with some pins in it to stick onto the top of the sewing box, or maybe the cotton reel or the needle or something. But there's always bits in these Primrose Cottage stitches, there's always bits that you can just take out and stitch as standalone. So I'm really happy with that. I used all the Cool for DMC colours, and this was stitched on a 16 count white Ada. I have to do 16 count now, my eyes can't cope with anything less than that. But I'm really happy with that. So that is a fully finished, so yeah, happy with that. So just put that to that side. Last year I didn't take part in it. It was the first year I've missed. So this year I've re-subscribed to Mandy Shaw's Redwork, Secret Society of Redwork and Stitchery. And every month you get sent a block, and it's to make a quilt again this year. So the first block for June was Jumbo the Elephant. So this stitched up ever so quickly. So this was the very first block. So it's just stitched on some linen, you iron on a transfer, and then you stitch round it with a cotton Brode. Cotton Brode is different to normal floss insofar as it's one strand, you don't separate it. So it's quite, I don't know if you can see that, it's quite sort of thick, and you just stitch with the whole strand, you don't separate it. It's not threaded, so you just use that whole thread. So it's called Cotton Brode, and it's a lovely red, dark red colour. She sometimes uses a bright red, but I prefer when she uses this traditional deeper red. So that was project number 1. I have got project number 2, but there was more stitching in project number 2, so I haven't got as much done. We also got a bonus kit with this one, and that isn't finished yet, but let me just show you what the bonus kit was. The bonus kit was to make Jumbo the Elephant. So he is all stitched. I've just got to what have I got to do? I've got a little bit round here to go around his leg, and then he has a little blanket to go over his back, and I've just got to stitch his name on the blanket, but I ran out of yellow. I thought the yellow was Cotton Brode, but it turns out it wasn't, so I should have separated it. It wasn't Cotton Brode. Is that Cotton Brode? Yeah. So this is the red she uses sometimes, but I do find that quite bright. I've just got to add his ears on, just put his name on here and then stuff him, then he'll be finished. And then I'll show you, so this one isn't finished yet, but I'll show you this month's project and the free gift we got this month. So this month we've got a sewing machine to stitch. So this is quite similar to other projects that Mandy's done before. She has sewn a sewing machine before, and I've done the sewing machine quite a few times. So this one is nearly finished as well. I haven't got a lot more to do on this. One evening and that could be done. Mum's got hospital tomorrow, so I might take this with me tomorrow to the hospital, because that's quite small actually to go in my handbag. I could get that done. So actually I might leave that one out on the table if I put my red thread with that. I've got a needle in there, and if I put my stitch ripper in there, that will work as my scissors, and I can take that one with me tomorrow to the hospital. That can be finished. And then the free gift for that this month was to stitch this little project here to make a cushion or just a mat. It says I love to sew, and it's got a sewing machine on and scissors and thimbles and a packet of pins. So it's quite cute. I've had something very similar to this before, and then you always get a newsletter as well. So I've done probably about three or four of Mandy Shaw's red works. I've only ever kept up with one of them. One of them I finished completely, and that was the basket kit. And then the others I've never finished. I've half finished them. So I was determined this year, as they arrive, I'm going to iron them on as they arrive and start them as they arrive. I'm not going to make the same mistake again. Now that's living in my, am I Peter Rabbit or am I Pooh Bag project bag? Do you remember I made this? And I've got the fabric all ready, ironed it all, prepared it all, sewed it all, and it wasn't until I was finishing it off to show you guys, and I was like, oh, Winnie the Pooh and Peter Rabbit, they might very well get on, but they're not in the same friendship group. So I had to keep that one for myself. I am hoping to get some bags into my Ko-fi shop at some point soon. So that's another finished project and one in progress. I've got 2 pairs of socks that I finished. So the first pair is a pair I've made for my brother. Now I'm not sure whose yarn this is. I've got a feeling it is commercial. I've got a feeling it's head over heels, but I'm not 100% certain. I would imagine Gemma from Devon Diaries would know whose this yarn is, but I'm not sure. But I was desperate to knit this yarn up. I wanted to knit it up for myself, and then I decided to knit it for my brother. I thought he won't mind. I've got an end to sew in. I thought he won't mind. He'll wear these, and they are twins. I have managed to get them to match exactly. Oops, they're twins, not brothers. They match exactly all the way down to the toe. I had to wind off a bit. But it's ever so, well, it's not ever so, but it is rough. It's really rough yarn. I'm quite disappointed with how rough it is actually. It'll be fine for him because he is quite hard going on socks. So I'm going to put these away for Christmas for him, but he is quite hard going on socks. So actually it's okay that it's quite rough, but I don't think I would enjoy wearing these socks. So it's not like West Yorkshire spinners. So I am quite disappointed in how rough this yarn is. So they're finished. So I think I cast on 64 stitches on a 2.25 needle. I did about 70 rounds for his leg. I did a slip stitch heel, flap and heel, and then the foot was also 70 rounds. And then I did I have no idea what toe I did, but it's the one I always do, where you knit 6 rounds and you knit 6 together, knit 6, knit 2 together, knit 6, knit 2 together, knit 5 rounds, knit 5, knit 2 together, knit 5, knit 2 together, and so on. It's the toe I always do, and it's the heel I always do. I did a 1x1 rib for him, so that's the pattern that always works. Everybody gets the same pattern. Sometimes vary the cuff. Then my next pair that I finished these off yesterday, is from the Lay Family Yarn Secret Santa Christmas Sock Club. This is Oh Christmas Tree. Now I wasn't keen on this colourway when this arrived. Couldn't see how the 2 colours went together, but I'm really, really happy with this now. So it's a green as the main colour. This again is done on 2.25 needle, 54 stitches, a 2x2 rib. I did 12 rounds of the contrast, then I did 4 rounds of the rib in green, and then I went into the green for the leg. I did 60 rounds for my leg. I did my usual slip stitch heel, and then I did 60 rounds for the foot, and then I did my same toe again. I didn't know whether to sort of intersperse this speckly yarn throughout the green to make it look like tinsel going around the sock, around the Christmas tree. But I have got 55 grams of the green left. I weighed it yesterday and I've got 55 grams of the green left. So I can definitely get a shorty pair. I've got quite a lot of all the balls of Lay Family yarn. I've got enough to do a shorty pair out of all of them. So these will go away as well. There are two. These will go away as well in my Christmas basket. So in December, I can show you when I do Vlogmas in December, and I can have a new pair of socks every couple of days throughout December. I don't think I'm going to have the same amount of socks knitted this year as I got knitted last year. So they can both go away. Obviously, my brother's pair are for him for Christmas. So I've been on a roll since I last saw you. I really have. So when we went to Liberty's, I've got an itch on my back. Oh, I think I've been bitten. I was picking beans this afternoon and suddenly had a real glut of green beans, and I got a rash on my arm. It's gone now, but I got a rash on my arm from picking the beans, and I think a gnat has bitten me on the back under my bra strap. I think somebody has bitten me. Anyway, so we went to Liberty's a few weeks ago, and as you know, Liberty's is very expensive, but Liberty's is lovely. But you need to go with a lot of money to Liberty's. And Mark very kindly gifted me some money, but I didn't want to buy a dress quantity of fabric this time. I'll show you my fabric I brought in a minute, but I wanted to buy a little bit. So I was looking at the sewing boxes, but I've got 3 sewing boxes, and I've also got the wooden cantilever box, which I haven't got anything in that, and I was desperate for that, and I haven't got anything in there at all. So they had the normal normal sewing box, and that was 40 something. Was that 40 something? Yeah, 40 something pounds for the normal sewing box. I've gone on for a right tangent. I don't know where I'm going with this. So the normal sewing box was about £40, and that had all the Liberty fabric, you know, the one that looks like the shop, the fabric that looks like the shop. And then they had a sewing box that looked like the Liberty shop, and that was £70. But that was lovely. But I thought, I can't spend £70 on a sewing box. That's just extortionate. We then went into John Lewis a bit later, and they had a beautiful sewing box in there. And I'm feeling that was bee themed, and that was £40, but that was huge. That was as big as the shop shaped ones. And I was very tempted, but I thought, oh, it was hot. I thought, I'm not lugging that all the way back from London. But it was very nice. Anyway, I've gone off on a right tangent. So my friends were looking at the little haberdashery bits, and they were looking at the scissor keeps. And they had a scissor keep that was just a small piece of Liberty fabric with a pair of scissors with a little bit of ribbon attached to it. And I think they wanted about between £15 and £20 for this scissor keep. And I said, I'll make you one. I said, won't have Liberty fabric on it. It could have, but it didn't. I said, I'll make you one. So on, not this Sunday gone, last Sunday, I sat down and I made 4 owl scissor keepers. So I was able to buy these stalk scissors on Amazon. They were selling these in packs of 3, like a rainbowy pair or pearlescent pair, a gold pair, and a silver pair for $7.99 for 3 pairs of scissors. So I got 2 packs of those. I needed 4. So I got 2 packs of those. And then I made these owl scissor keepers, just out of scraps of felt that I've had left over from my Luna. So I've given 2 to the girls already, and I've got 1 to give to one of the other girls, and 1 is going to go away for a Secret Santa swap that I'm doing. But I think they're really cute. I've made them before. So super easy, super cute to do. Scraps of felt, and then a little bit of interfacing. This is from, now the name's going to go right out of my head. It's a subscription box that you can buy. But I can't remember the name of it, but I will remember the name and I'll put it in the description box below because I've taken out the pattern. But it's a subscription box that you can buy, and I've got a feeling this is still available. If it comes to me while I'm recording, I will tell you. But you can still buy this as a kit. So I bought it as a kit originally. I made it and I gave it to somebody, and then I've made it again, remade it again, giving it to somebody. I still haven't got one for myself. Okay, my next finished object is, my sister asked me to make her a top, so I've made her a top. So I use this pattern, it's called the Amelia set, and this was a free pattern from Simply Sewing, and the pattern is by the Sew Girl. Now the Sew Girl is a very well-known pattern maker. She's made some lovely patterns before, and whether it was me, I don't know. But the instructions in this pattern were not very clear to follow. So I've made my sister the t-shirt version. So you can either make the t-shirt or the dress. So I made the t-shirt version. I made this on Sunday. I've just got to hem the sleeves and add a button on, and then it's finished. But the instructions were really unclear, particularly for putting the sleeves in. It was absolute gobbledygook how to put the sleeves in. So in the end, I thought, well, I know how to put sleeves in. If I was a complete beginner, I probably would have just left this and would never have made anything else again. It would have completely put me off. I mean, Simply Sewing, it should be a nice simple pattern to do. Had this been my first attempt at making anything, I wouldn't have been able to finish this pattern. But I had to draw on my own knowledge of dressmaking in order to finish this top. So the fabric comes from, oh, it's gone again from my head. I used to get a sewing box of fabric, but it's gone. It comes to me. It was a subscription box of fabric that you could get. So this is the top I've made my sister. So I just need to hem the sleeves and put a button on, but I'm really pleased with the little top. I think she'll like it. I think she'll be happy with it. It's just so long as she can get it on and off herself easily. So I'm just going to put, where's the back gone? I'm just going to put a piece of elastic and a button at the back for her, and hopefully she should be able to manage this herself quite easily to get it on and off herself. But yeah. It was a quick, easy make. Once I decided to sort of throw the pattern away and just do my own thing, it was okay to make. But it's a lovely fabric. It's a, oh God, I haven't got any words today. It is a, oh, have a feel. It's almost like pyjama-y fabric. Oh, what's that called? Well, whatever it is, it's very nice. But I can't remember what it's called. I'm useless today, aren't I? I really wanted to do this video and I'm absolutely useless. Double crepe. So yeah, so just add a button on there and that'd be done for her. But the sleeves were just a pig. And so I just did my own thing and it looks fine actually. So I've just got to sew down the neck, the lining around here, and just hem the sleeves, and then that's done. So I'm seeing her on Saturday. She'll come around again on Saturday and she can have that. So that's done. Sorry, just have a bit of my drink. So hot, it's still hot here now. So, hope you're all okay. So, if you remember, last year I brought the 10th anniversary kit from Lappin. Lappin was 10 years old last year. And I brought the anniversary kit and I was happily making them. And I've made baby Luna and I've made baby Luna's cousin. So they're made. And I had the other rabbits all but made, but I couldn't find one limb to make the adult, make grandma of the Dutch bunny. So put it away because I couldn't find the other arm for her. Well, I was sorting something out the other day and I came across Grandma Luna. So I've just put her together today. I just need to add her arms. So her arms will go on like that. So I just need to add her arms on. Probably in the morning now, I'll stick her arms on. And in the bag, I found Grandma Dutch Bunny and I found all her limbs. So her missing arm, I think it was a missing arm, was in the bag with all of Grandma Luna. So they can all be finished now. And then my plan is hopefully next week, I don't think I've got a lot on next week. Samuel's got a sleepover Monday and Tuesday night, or Monday night into Tuesday. Mum's got hospital on Wednesday, and then I think I've pretty much got a free week next week. So what I'd like to do next week is get the clothes made for these 4 little girls and all the little accessories made, and then I'd like to come back and show you them all made. So hopefully within the next week or 2, I'd like to have their clothes all made and come back and show you all their outfits. So it came with everything you needed, and I believe you can still buy this now, or you can go back and buy this now. So there are all their little clothes. And it came with everything to make the basket with the little pie and all their outfits as well. It gave you the instructions to make the crochet strawberries, but didn't give you the yarn, but I've got plenty of yarn. So yeah, I would really like to make their clothes, make their clothes. So I might get the fabric. Mum's got hospital tomorrow. We've got nothing on Thursday. And I need to have a really quiet day on Thursday because we're going to London on Friday. We should have been away on holiday this week, but I'll explain that to you later. So we're going to go to London on Friday for the day, but it's meant to be really, really, really stinking hot on Friday. So I'm going to have a bit of a rest on Thursday. So there's one of the outfits, shorts and t-shirt. So if I get the pattern pieces cut out and all the fabric cut out on Thursday, then maybe I can get this sewn on Saturday and Sunday. There's her little dress. And then and then I can get the other little bits done, and then her little dress. And then I'll be really excited if I can get these all dressed. Where's the other character? And there's her, but is she wearing it? There's a picture of Grandma. And then there's her lovely little dress there. So I'll be really happy if I can get them all dressed and sorted. I much prefer the legs inside the body than to legs on the outside of the body. I just find they go in so much easier. You don't have to fiddle around. So put those back over there. So that's sort of a finished project, but sort of a work in progress. Another work in progress. I'm a good halfway through another hot water bottle cover. I sewed up the bottom of the other one that I'd been doing and put the hot water bottle in. Well, you have to put the hot water bottle in and then sew up the bottom. So the cable is in the centre. So this is the ISBN hot water bottle cover. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it just takes not quite a full ball of chunky, 100 gram ball chunky, and it's just got this lovely cable running through the centre, which is a really simple. The cable is only on the 10th row of every pattern. There's 10 rows to the pattern, but the cable is just done on the 10th row. So I'm over halfway of that. So that's nearly finished. I've started another sock for my brother. My brother wanted, I said to you before, didn't I? My brother wanted me to make him a bee-themed jumper. I was like, I cannot knit him a jumper. He's quite broad, and I thought I can't knit him a jumper. So I'm going to knit him a pair of bee-themed socks. So I ordered some yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners the other day. So I've got black, which is called licorice, and the yellow is called sunflower. So again, 2.25 needles, 64 stitches. I've done 2 rounds of black rib, and I'm going to do 10 rounds of yellow rib, and then I'm going to do the crunkle pattern. So 3 rounds of black, 3 rounds of yellow, so on, and do the crunkle pattern, because then I thought it would look a bit like honeycomb. I was originally just going to do it plain stripy, but I've done so many plain socks lately. I want to have something with a bit of a patterning. So I'm going to knit him socks, but I've wound the wool off because I'm hoping to do these concurrently. And then I've also, in my bag, got, is it in here? Yeah. I've also got this wool in here. If I can find a third pair of needles, which I will be able to, I've got this from Lay Family Yarn, and it was their, is it their deck chair or their beach hut yarn. It's only a 50-gram ball, so I'm going to have to go carefully, and I want to make Mum a pair of socks. So it's got the little cream contrast, well, it's quite a big cream contrast, and this, and it should be striping, and I want to do Mum a pair of socks. This is definitely her colour. And I've also got a lovely, it's called Velvet Armchair. It's from Dandelion and Dogwood, and that's a 100-gram ball, so I'll make her another pair of socks in that as well. So definitely going to do these bead ones for my brother, and hopefully do them concurrently, because I've got the same wool wound off again. I know it doesn't go any quicker, but in my mind it feels like it goes quicker if you do two together. Okay, another work in progress. I tell you, I'm smashing it out of the park. I am making, oh, that can go in the bin now. Oh look, Sammy went into town last week and he got a King Charles £1 coin. Can you see that? Yeah, it has. King Charles £1 coin. And he's just shouted out, look, it's got bees on it. I don't know if you can see them. My brother gave me, well, he didn't give me, he swapped a £20 note the other day, King Charles £20 note. I've got a £5 note and I've got a 50p. I don't think you can see that, can you? It's got bees on it. I can put that in my sewing box, actually. And he brought me an ironing board cover today with bees on. So I'm making the Lunar Lappin Squirrel. And, oh, that's not very good there. I brought some fabric from the cotton patch last week, and the fabric has got squirrels on, so I've done her foot pads with squirrels. So I've made her legs, I've made her arms. I've got 2 arms. That one just needs her bit sewn up. I've made her face somewhere. I don't know where her face has gone. Oh goodness me, I've lost her face. Oh, there's her face. The squirrel's face is quite tricky. So there's her face, but I'm waiting. It should arrive tomorrow. I've got an order coming from Cool Crafting tomorrow because I've ordered a nose. I like giving them now proper noses. Who did I make and give a nose to? Who did I give a nose to? Oh, when I made Bramble Bear and I gave Bramble Bear a proper nose, it just lifted him. So I've ordered a nose. But I made a squirrel before for myself and it looked like roadkill. So I really want this one to look nice. So I've just left the face like this because I just need to sit quietly on my own and try and work out the face. And the body's still in pieces. I don't need that part. I cut out too many bits. And the body, I just need to sew the body together. And then, this isn't my idea, I pinched this off of somebody else. I brought this most beautiful fabric off a cotton patch. I brought this lovely autumn themed fabric from Cotton Patch. It's called Hello Autumn, and it's a this is the name, and it's called Hello Autumn Wildwood. And this is the fabric I brought because I want to make the squirrel a dress in this fabric, because there's all these different woodland creatures on it, but including a squirrel. So it's got a fox, an owl, a hedgehog, loads of different animals, but I just thought that was beautiful with the squirrel on it. So I brought this one. And then I'm going to make some project bags for autumn. Now I don't do Halloween, so I don't do Halloween themed project bags. But I've got this one with a fox and toadstools on, which is super cute. So I might make a couple of project bags out of this and put it in my Ko-fi shop. And then this is a nice autumnal one, which has just got autumn leaves on it. So watch my Ko-fi shop if you're interested. I might put a couple of project bags in there in the next couple of weeks. So if you're interested and on the lookout for an autumn project bag, they'll be there. So I'm going to save my liberty till last. So I wasn't going to carry on buying these Santa Secret Sock Club from Lay Family Yarn because I've got them all since January and I've not knitted them all up. I will knit them all up, don't get me wrong, I will get them all knitted up. But I haven't knitted them all up yet and I'm thinking, oh, they're just all sitting there and I shouldn't buy them, they're expensive, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought, it's August. You've got 4 more to buy. Just buy them. And then I brought this one and I was like, oh, this is the only one that has arrived and I don't like it. But in saying that, I didn't like the old Christmas tree one. It was so green. I wasn't keen on this one, but now it's knitted, I do like it. But this one, whether it's for the film, I don't know. Actually, I do quite like it now, but I don't know. What do you think? So it's like well, it's not really a limey green. It's like I don't know how to describe it. So it's green again. It's got bits of red in it, lighter green, darker greens, and then a cream again. But the film, can you guess the name of the film for this one? How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I've never watched the film because I don't like the Grinch. I know lots of people do like the Grinch, and that's fine. But Kelly isn't doing any inspiration anymore, I don't think. So that's making it hard because it's like finding inspiration. What can I do? I like the first pair I did where you did so many rows in the colour and then a couple of rows in the white, so many colour and then the white. So I could do that again. What is white on the Grinch? Does he have a white beard or does he wear white gloves? I'm not sure because it's not something I've not watched the film. I'll have to find a picture of the Grinch and see. So yeah, I must admit it's the only one I've opened up. I was like, oh, everything else I've been like, eee, I love it, but not that one. So I was a little bit disappointed. Anyway, on to my other acquisitions. So I always have a little look on Facebook Market page, and I belong to a cross stitch group, buy and sell cross stitch. And I was having a look over the weekend and I saw these 2 gorgeous patterns that I have tried to get previously, but I think, well, I know you can get them in the UK, but they are ever so expensive to buy. They're expensive if you buy them, from Market. They're ever so expensive to buy because they're American. They're Stacey Nash patterns, so they're expensive to buy. And but I've seen them made up a couple of times. I think So Sherry's made them, Just So Sherry, sorry's made them, and Charm from Periwinkle Stitches has made them. And I think I've seen other people make, I think Davina's made one from Little Workman Crafts. So I've managed to get Lily from Animal Crackers from Stacey Nash. I've managed to get Lily and Maggie May. Aren't they beautiful? Now the only issue I have, and it's not an issue because nothing is a problem, is these are stitched on linen. Obviously I'm going to stitch them on Ada. Now has anybody else ever stitched these on Ada and it work okay? So I'm going to have to stitch them on 16 count Ada, and I'm just hoping that it's going to work and they're not going to come out size of the house. But I just love them, and I picked these up for £6 each, which I think is a real bargain. So it's worth looking on Facebook Market or joining D-stash groups on Facebook. So I'm really happy with those, so they can go away in my little cross stitch stash. Then this is the book I was talking about that I got on Vinted. So I'm sure I paid £1.50 for this. I know I did. I paid £1.50 for this. And it's this lovely book. It's called Lovely Little Patchwork. It should only have been £4 in the works anyway. I don't go into town very often. I went into town today and I had a look in the works. I didn't see any crafty books. I mean, I only flashed in and flashed out. but this is lovely. There are some lovely patterns on here, and I know Lily from Lily and the Bee was talking about books and finding nice books, and I mentioned her about Vinted. I love this pencil case. Look at this beautiful pencil case with the hexes, a lovely decorative zip. How beautiful is that? I don't think Sammy would like that for school, but I would like that. I think that's so pretty. Just using up tiny scraps of Liberty. How beautiful is that? Those tiny, tiny scraps. But there it is. How pretty. Who's Davina from Little Workroom Crafts would love that. That's autumn patchwork placemats. How beautiful are they? It's pumpkin placemats. What else is in here that I liked? Oh, this little dolly. This is lovely, a little coaster, little lemonade coaster. A jug rug. What wasn't that? Somewhere in here is a machine cover, I think. Oh no, look at this. This is lovely. A little bag for holding all your projects in, all your notions and bits and pieces. That cross-stitch sewing book. Just lovely. And just taking tiny, tiny pieces of fabric. That lovely table runner. I'm sure it had a I'm sure this, oh it did. Look at this machine cover in a cottage. How pretty is that? I love that one. So for, what's that? Oh, look at that, a tiny little vintage pincushion, just in a tiny pot with a pincushion made on it. Now I did get these off of Facebook Market page ages ago, and it was all Cath Kids and squares that had been sewn up. They'd all been sewn together, poorly sewn together. So the other day, Mum asked me for something to do. So I said, oh, here you go, have these squares and a seam ripper, I said, and would you take them all apart for me, please? So she took them all apart for me, and I pressed them all the other day. And I thought, you know, these actually would be perfect for some of these little projects in here. They're ideal, aren't they? And then the next book I've got, where should I put that? Put that there. The next book I got, I didn't know I'd ordered this. I must have had this on pre-order, and it arrived last week, and I completely forgotten I pre-ordered it. Look at this. Peter Rabbit crochet toys. Now, I'm not a very good crocheter, but I just love this. Isn't it cute? Let me show you some of the, well, let's start with Peter Rabbit. Oh no, this is Benjamin Bunny, Peter Rabbit and Flopsy. Aren't they just adorable? Miss Tiggy Winkle and Jeremy Fisher. So I really want to get my teeth into this. Oh, Tom Kitten. Paula from Stitched by Mrs. D would like him. They're just so cute. Mr. Todd. They're all there, obviously. All the characters are there. There they are, all on the back. So this was a pre-order that I'd completely forgotten about. So that's that one. And then yesterday this book arrived. Now I knew about this book because the lovely Jeanette from Crafty Clegs had made something from this book last year or the year before. And so Jeanette so this is the book. It's called Let's Go Camping, and it's a crochet book, and you can crochet your camping holiday. So Jeanette had crocheted, if you've seen, last year or the year before, she crocheted the caravan. And it's beautiful. So there's the inside of the caravan with the bunks and the kitchen and quilts and cushions and everything. And I sent her some Lego figures for her caravan. We sent her up some little Lego men that Sammy wasn't playing with anymore. He gifted Jeanette some Lego men. So I was just having a look around on Amazon the other day, and this book popped up, and I thought, oh, I'm going to order it and I'm going to have a go at making the caravan. So it arrived yesterday, and I was flicking through, and I don't know about you, but I always start at the back of a book. So I was looking at the back of the book, and the first thing that came up, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And this is the bit I'm going to try. It will probably look like a dog's dinner, but I love this canal boat. I just think that is so cute. Let me show you the inside of the canal boat. There's another view of the canal boat. You make everything, including like the safety buoy. Does it have an inside shot? It does. I think it does. Yeah, look, it's even got a little wood burning stove and sofa and cushions and a bed. All this Cath Kids and fabric. So that's really cute. Then I carried on flicking through, and we get to, what's this one called? It's a lake house, I think this one is. What's this one called? Hold on. Well, it's the lake house with a canoe and a jetty. How cute is that? So I thought, okay, we like that one. And I've still got, and look at that with the boats. I used to have these figures. We've still got some Lego figures upstairs, and all the Cath Kids and the Liberty material. And then we get even better. We then get onto the ice cream van. My mum was just sitting there going, oh my goodness. And look, you've got a little chest freezer in the ice cream van with all your ice creams in. Look. And look, your little penguin and your dinosaur are coming along to get their ice creams. And your Russian dolls. I just thought it was so cute. And then you obviously get to caravan, but I mean, I like the caravan, but I've just fallen in love with other things. Little tents. Probably have to start with a tent. Let's be realistic here. I just love it. I just think it's so cute. So that's another plan. Okay, now let's get on to the good stuff. Are we ready for Liberty? Well, no, let's go to John Lewis first. So, went to John Lewis. Well, we went to a little shop that was meant to be a cheap shop in London to get some cheaper fabric. And my friend found some beautiful fabric to make this beautiful dress that she's designed. And she wanted 5 metres of this fabric. I think if she bought it, it was going to cost her over £200. Needless to say, the fabric is still in the shop. We then went on to a wool shop called McCulloch and Wallace, I think it is. And I got some sock wool for my mum. She's just picked up her needles now and just started to carry on knitting my brother's socks. So that's good. Anyway, we went to Liberty's after that. Then we went to John Lewis. I'm going to show you the fabric I got in John Lewis. This is to do a hexie cushion, because when I was in John Lewis, they had a hexie set to make a cushion. But I think that was about £30, and you only got about 30 hexes. Samuel, I'm recording. Samuel, I'm recording. It's just called a header and feather. It's about £30. You've got 30 hexes. So I went into John Lewis and I spent, I think this was about £16, and I've got 5 fat quarters. And it's Liberty fabric. It's Liberty ribbon. And we've got this one, which is lovely with all houses on, all snowy scene. We've got this one. Got this one with holly leaves on. This one with snowflakes on. And this one with presents and scissors on. So I'm hoping to use these to make a Liberty hexie cushion for Christmas. So it's an Alison Caroline pattern that you can buy. So I brought that in John Lewis, and then I went into Liberty and I brought a few bits in Liberty. One is a gift. one is a gift, so I'm not going to show you that one because that's a gift. I bought this Liberty iron-on badge because I am going to make myself a Liberty bag. They were selling Liberty tote bags for £25, and I thought I could make that. Not spending £25 on a bag that I can make. So I then bought this fabric to make the Liberty tote bag. Bought 2 meters of this fabric. Has it got a name on here? I can't see the selvage. Hold on, I can see the selvage. It is called Haberdashery Floral. So it's got flowers, pincushion, scissors, bobbins with cotton on. So I brought this and I was going to make a bag, but I've since decided actually I'm going to make myself a top out of it, and then whatever's left I can incorporate into hexes or make a bag from. I'm going to make a Tilly and the Buttons top that I've made numerous times. It's just a very simple short sleeve top with a tie at the back. But I think that'll look quite pretty because I was going to make a bag and have that on there. But I've got 2 meters, so I think I'm going to make myself a nice top out of that. So that's it. So it's a nice long video. So yeah, just catch you up on life then. So yeah, we should have been away this week. We should have been up in Yorkshire with friends. Unfortunately, Mum's been ever so poorly again. She's had another week back in hospital on a renal ward. She was really, really poorly again, virtually in kidney failure. She ended up with sepsis again. So she was in hospital for a week. She went in the day after I had my injection in my head. My injection didn't work, so all the stress and everything, my injection didn't work, so I'm still in just as much pain, but never mind, that's life, isn't it? So Mum came out a week ago on Saturday. She's very weak, very tired, probably in a bit of a worse state than she was. We were back up at the hospital for 5 hours on Friday, back at A&E on Friday for 5 hours. She wasn't very well again. So it's just, we're just going around in circles really. We're up at the hospital tomorrow for her treatment. That'll be interesting trying to get there because anything over a 15-minute journey is just, Milo, is just hard work. So it takes about 20 minutes to get to the hospital, but she likes to go to my uncle's house, which is about another 10 minutes drive. Then we park there and then he drives us to the hospital because getting parked at the hospital is next to impossible. And then if you do get parked, they rob you blind for parking. My mum's got a blue badge. You now have to register your blue badge at Southend Hospital, which Mark did when Mum was in hospital. And even though we're registered, I was still charged £6 on Friday night when we parked there in A&E. So they rob you blind at that place. So yeah, so she's no better. She's very weak and everything. Saturday I picked my sister up from the care home. She came round for the afternoon on Saturday, so it's the first time Mum's seen my sister for about a month, so that was nice for them to see each other. Pick her up again this Saturday. Mark will pick her up on his way home from work this Saturday so they can see each other again. But everything's just very hard work for Mum. She's very tired, she's very tearful because she's in so much pain, she's very tearful. It's very hard work. We've got carers in at the moment, but we just have one carer a day. We could have them 4 times a day, but we don't really need them 4 times a day. She lives with us, so we don't need them. We're not taking them away from other people that need them. And they're not going to do anything I can't do, so they just come in the morning, wash and dress her. I shower her, but they just come in and wash and dress her. But really we need somebody that could come in for an hour or so I could take Milo for a walk, but it's nice to see somebody else Mum to say hello to and talk to. So just keep Mum in your thoughts and prayers. She did start knitting again the other day, so she's been knitting my brother a pair of socks, and I did get her some wool when I was in London, so hopefully she's going to start knitting those for my brother. Just trying to encourage her to keep knitting and doing little bits and pieces. When the weather's a bit cooler, I'll get a puzzle out, and maybe she hates puzzles, but if there's a puzzle on the table, she can't resist doing it. So I'll get a puzzle out for her as well. Maybe she'll sit and do a bit of a puzzle. Just finding bits that interest her, keep her busy. Yeah, so we're coming up to nearly an hour, can you believe it? So hopefully the sound has been okay today. I really don't know what happened last week when I was doing that planner journal with you, and when the sound just disappeared completely. That was horrendous, wasn't it? Absolutely horrendous. Oh, nightmare. So hopefully the sound's been okay today. If you haven't already done so, maybe hit like and subscribe. Some people have left us, so we're left with the good ones. Yeah, let me know what you're working on. If you've made Luna, if you've made the squirrel, let me know. If you've finished the 10th anniversary box, let me know. If you've made anything that I've made, let me know what you've made. And if you've made these 2 animal crackers, if you've made them on Ada, let me know if it works out okay. Let me know what your crafting plans are for the coming week. I will try and do this. I can't do it during the day, so I'll maybe set aside one evening a week to try and do this. I know I say it all the time, but life is just so hectic at the moment. But I maybe try and set aside one evening a week and catch up with you. It's nice to have a chat with somebody. So I'll love and leave you now, and lovely to speak to you all. Look forward to reading your comments later, and take care everyone. Happy crafting, and I'll see you all next week. Bye for now. Bye.